Broadcasting live from our Pocket studios right here in Highlands, Harare. My name is Zain Jamu and welcome to News at 8.
And I am Tanaka Mienyo. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Peaceway Zomunika will be joining us on the Sign Language Desk.
And later on, Memory Nkwentlovo will be joining us from our Montreux studios. But these are our leading stories.
Second Republic committed to improving the welfare of traders.
In business, Zimbabwe's construction industry speaks on National Development Strategy 2 benefits. And in our look at sport, Simba Bora maintains momentum with a 4-1 win over Manika Diamonds. That coming up as we take a look at the PSL Match Day 6 results. We now take a look at the news in greater detail. In our first story, the government has reiterated its commitment to creating a favorable environment for small to medium-sized businesses to thrive. President Emmerson Mnangagwa said this when he opened the completed Phase 1 of the Mbare Traders Market Development Project on Friday. Let's take a look.
As he officially opened the completed market, President Emmerson Mnangagwa noted that his recent meeting with vendor representatives at State House provided valuable insights into their needs, reinforcing the government's hope to see small to medium enterprises grow.
Be assured that the interests of the people of our great motherland, Zimbabwe, remain at the core of my government. 2 weeks ago, I was pleased to receive at State House representatives of vendors and tax shops association from across the country. That engagement, among others, I have had in the recent past, gave me general insights into matters that concern you and the broader micro, small and medium enterprises sector in our country. As you are aware, the unfortunate destructive fire incident that gutted the Mbare Traders Market on 8th October 2024 caused substantial damage to stores and loss of stock for our traders here. Due to the magnitude of the tragedy, I, your president, declared a state of disaster on 14 October 2024 in accordance with the provisions of the Civil Protection Act. That enabled the government to take direct responsive measures for the mobilization of requisite resources for recovery and reconstruction of this market. We further adopted the whole of government and society approach where we leave no one and no place behind. This ensured that urgent requirements of traders affected by the incident were mitigated, while partnerships for reconstruction works were engaged.
President Mnangagwa said his administration is targeting to realize the urban transformation agenda designed to prioritize safe, inclusive and sustainable cities.
My administration is determined to see the realization of the urban transformation agenda. This program is designed to primarily focus on addressing rapid urbanization by prioritizing safe, inclusive, resilient and sustainable cities and human settlements in line with Sustainable Development Goal number 11.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa praised Masimba Holdings for bringing his vision for the Mbare Msika market to life through a public-private partnership.
I want to applaud Masimba Construction and Mukambo Msika Hubs, who partnered government in this project for their professionalism and work ethic, which have ensured the completion of phase 1 of this traders market. Malevis awana kuchajai basa kusunai asi imwi mnenge kushandisa facilities awa mwashandisa zuri responsible mwachengetedza.
The official opening of the phase 1 of the Mbare Traders Market Development Project also saw President Mnangagwa presenting trader lease agreements and preloaded cards for rentals to the youth, persons with disabilities, veterans, and vendors who were affected by the October 2024 fires. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe and Algeria are set to strengthen their bilateral ties, focusing on continued engagement in politics, economics, and trade. We get more in the following report.
Algeria's State Secretary for African Affairs, Honorable Salma Bakhta Mansouri, met with the Zimbabwe's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Professor Amon Murira, to discuss the good status of their bilateral relationship under the Joint Permanent Commission on Cooperation.
This visit also was the occasion for me to discuss with the Honorable Minister the very good status of our bilateral relationship. We, Algeria and Zimbabwe, have a very common historical relationship, deep rooted in common struggle against colonialism and the struggle also and the fight for liberations. And I was really happy to meet with the minister and to have an update on our bilateral relationship, both at the political, economical, and the other areas. We discuss, of course, ways and means to further strengthen this important relationship, including through holding the upcoming joint bilateral commissions, which will embrace other areas of cooperation.
Zimbabwe and Algeria enjoy cordial relations built on their shared historical bond of struggling for liberation. The two countries have established ties in key sectors such as education and agriculture, fostering cooperation and mutual understanding. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
Speaking of relations, the Southern Africa Development Community has identified several solutions, including a corridor-wide approach in the wake of challenges at Kasambalesa border post, which is between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Zambia.
SADC ministers responsible for trade, transport, infrastructure and security held a virtual interministerial meeting this Friday to address challenges at Kasumbalesa border post between the Democratic Republic of Congo DRC and Zambia. The meeting was chaired by Transport and Infrastructural Development Minister Honorable Felix Mona. Kasumbalesa border post has faced many challenges that include infrastructure deficiencies, administrative bottlenecks, excessive delays, congestion and security concerns, which have attracted the attention of the regional body. In his opening remarks, Honorable Mona highlighted solutions for consideration and adoption in addressing persistent problems at Kasumbalesa border post.
We are meeting here not to merely acknowledge these challenges, but to forge concrete and actionable solutions. We must commit to the following: streamlining border procedures, harmonizing customs regulations, simplifying documentation, and implementing electronic single window systems, investing in infrastructure, upgrading facilities, expanding capacity, and deploying modern technologies to enhance efficiency, strengthening security measures, enhancing border security to combat illicit activities and ensure the safety of stakeholders, promoting interagency cooperation, fostering collaboration among customs, immigration, security, and other relevant agencies.
After deliberations in a closed session, The interministerial meeting resulted in the adoption of several solutions that include a corridor-wide approach.
Our meeting highlighted the fact that resolving problems at a single border post on the corridor is not sustainable, as efficiency is lost due to bottlenecks transferred to border posts. Therefore, a corridor-wide approach is recommended to concurrently address emerging challenges along the entire corridors. The approach also reflects our commitment to enable economic integration for all our nations. I also take this opportunity to reaffirm the commitment of the government of the Republic of Zimbabwe, under the wise leadership of our visionary leader and principal, the great commander, Comrade Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, who is the current SADC chairperson, who has offered support to DRC and Zambia as they continue to collaborate to resolve the challenges at Kasumbalesa.
Kasumbalesa border post connects various regions, including the North-South corridors, the Central Development Corridor, the Walvis Bay Ndola Lubumbashi Corridor, as well as the Beira Development Corridor. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
The Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Service has stepped up its efforts to combat drug and substance abuse, focusing on rehabilitation and education to raise awareness among inmates about the risks of addiction. Peter Chivima filed the following report.
In an effort to complement the government's fight against drug and substance abuse, the Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Service, through the Department of Gender Services, is conducting campaigns to combat this.
anokonzeresa uri kufanira ndoda kusta kana drug kuti ndigone kureduce stress asi azviso pane zvazviri kutovaka muviri mako.
We have inmates who come very heavily affected nema drugs, and it's such a very bad sight. Most of them are as young as 16 years, and when you get to ask them what are the causes and why are you using drugs, it seems they don't know it's peer pressure that is affecting them. The moment you get into prison, you go through counseling and rehab, like I mentioned earlier, and then we are taught different skills that empower us.
With such testimonials, the ZPCS health experts highlighted the consequences of addiction.
Sanamai, ngatipoti tiongorora vana vedu. Iwe behavior mwana wako yakakura nayo unoiziva. Ukaona mwana akuda kuita tumwe tumabehavior tokuti ukataura naye achakuteerera semwana akungoda kungokupindura ziva kuti nekukurumidza pane zvaakuda kuitika.
Taking drugs and substances, it has quite a number of effects on the mental health. Basically, it poses a risk for most of the mental illnesses. Some of the things that can come up is what is called psychosis. People end up with unusual, disorganized behaviors. They can start hearing things that others can't hear. They can start seeing things others can't hear, others can't see. What we call hallucinations, in other words.
Behind the prison walls, there are people who have come in, who have been affected from outside. They've been using different substances, and then when they come in, they will have different mental health issues, some battling with depression, some with psychosis. Some are inside because they committed a crime, because they were under the influence. So a part of the processes will be rehabilitating them psychologically.
The government is tackling the issue of drug and substance abuse through a multi-pronged approach, which includes establishing a drug and substance abuse interministerial committee to coordinate efforts and conducting nationwide awareness campaigns to educate the public about the risks of substance abuse. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
We continue to say no to drug and substance abuse. However, the Mtorashanga transmission site has been vandalized, resulting in a widespread outage that has left thousands of people without access to radio and television services.
The site, which serves a large coverage area in the country, was on the 11th of this month targeted by thieves who made off with crucial equipment. The vandals stripped the SESA transformer, uprooted power cables and damaged the power distribution system inside the building. Backup batteries were also stolen and cables were cut, causing extensive damage to the facility. Transmedia Chief Operations Officer Engineer Rufaro Saranyika said the vandalism has had a significant impact on broadcasting services in the region.
The main transmission hub for radio and television services in Mashonaland Central and parts of Mashonaland West was vandalized yesterday by copper thieves. They started by damaging and stripping off equipment from the power utility. They ransacked the transformer, unearthed all copper cables linking the power utility with the equipment for radio and television. And after that, they forced entry into the shelter containing equipment for radio and television services. They vandalized and stripped off anything which had copper cables, starting from the actual transmitters, the power systems. They store backup batteries as well. And for them to do that, they first assaulted the security guards who were on the site. The other guard was badly beaten, and he suffered some broken tooth. Even as we speak now, he's actually hospitalized. And this has affected areas like Bindura, Concession, Centenary, Guruve, Mutorashanga, Chinoi, Banket. All these areas, they don't have radio services and digital services because of this extensive damage. So as Transmedia, we are working with the power utility so that power can be restored at the site in the shortest possible time. And we are also we are also assembling a makeshift transmission system so that the affected areas will get services back in the shortest possible time.
The incident was reported to the Mutorashanga police station and an investigation is currently underway. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News.
And that's a look at what is happening in Mutorashanga now. Moving on to Masvingo province, prompted by the need to mold morally upright children, the First Lady Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa took her Gota Nanga Ikiba initiative to Bikita. Let's have a look.
Thousands of high school students from different boarding schools in and around Masvingo province thronged Mutenda High School for a special Nanga Gotai Kliba session with the First Lady Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa. Dr. Mnangagwa, who is also the environment patron, started by planting the Mutuputupu or Tepiana tip tree, which is fast becoming extinct owing to deforestation. The Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Masvingo Province, Comrade Ezra Chadzamira, and Mutenda High School head, Mrs. Mutendi, also took part in the tree planting exercise. In the Nanga, the girls had important life lessons imparted to them by the First Lady, female teachers, and women from the community. The program, which coincided with the end of the first term, was meant to prepare learners to manage their holidays, since some become wayward during school holidays to the extent of taking drugs or getting pregnant. The Nanga Gotai Kliba Moral Restoration Program comes at a time when most children are engaging in wayward activities due to effects of westernization as well as social media influence, resulting in some engaging in drug and substance abuse, premarital sex, indecent dressing, and same-sex relationships. The First Lady rallied children to embrace the values of hard work, discipline, obedience, and resilience in order for them to realize their dreams. Amai underscored the importance of education, imploring young people to shun social vices. Dr. Mnangagwa also stressed the importance of personal and menstrual hygiene while imploring girls to keep their virginity.
Awite zvinhu zvako wega mwanangu. Nokuti kana wako high school hausisiri weka wakuzvipa mutemo kuita zvaunoda. Ndizvo ka? Uchiri mwana chero ukazokura sei azvifi zvakachinja kuti amai vazova mwana wako kana baba vazova mwana wako. Ndizvo ka? Ucharamba uri mwana chero ukawanikwa kupi asi kumusha kwedu unoramba uri chi? Mwana. Saka mwana ndiye watoda kutsvaga nhasi nekuumba kuti ndiwe mwana wacho here iwe. Unoda kumboita chii? Uri kuverenga chiiko zvino? Uri kuzvigona here kuchikoro kwacho? Kushamwari dzauri kutamba nadzo ndedzipiko? Vari kuverengawo zvipi? Muri kuzotaura chii kana mabva muchikoro? Mapa free time. Imimi pamura pamato grown girls mazvinzwa here matokura imimi vasikana. Asi kukura kwenyu hakusi kuti mende munoita dzimba. Hakusi kukura kuti munowanikwa. Vana mai vari pano musaita kuti munzi paita gusvi panze kwauya mukwasha wevava. Asi muroora baushu. Uye musaunzirwa muroora akadai kumba kwenyu. Mazvinzwisa vabereki. Nokuti vamwe zvavakuita mwana kana angominyukira akungodika tsapfu kakuoneka azodini atopa market kumba uko. Zvakusungisa mwana nemakore below 18 nekudzika pasi. Haabvumirwe kuita bonde, haabvumirwe kuwanikwa. Musaroodza vana ivavo.
The mother of the nation sought to know the kind of mischief in schools, and the learners pointed at drug abuse, sexual relations between teachers and students, as well as same-sex relationships among learners. The mother of the nation spoke candidly against such vices. She highlighted the effects of drug abuse and premarital sex. The First Lady also tackled bullying in schools. The Nanga session was also attended by Sister Mary Jeju, a teacher whose rallying point was for young girls to always dress decently and to focus on their studies.
Takanyanya kuti koshera kuchandoda ngokurudzira inyaya kungoti ngatingopfekai zvinhu zvakadzikama semwana womusikana. Chikaranga chedu chinoti mwana womusikana unofana kuvharidzira muviri yako. Saka takanyanya kukosha ngatifokasei nekuverenga mabhuku at least wakumusoro kwakunyasogona kuita madecisions. Wosangana nemukomana wako kana uchida kuita pilot munongonosangana kundege ikoko kana unoda kuenda kumedicine munonosangana ikoko.
The session was highly interactive, with the learners asking questions about various issues that affect them as young girls. Dr. Mnangagwa and other women gave befitting responses. Amai also invited VFU representative to respond to some of the questions.
Unotengegwa hembe dzia mamini dzinoshama dzinodi kuti ukavaudza vanokomblena vokudza kuti wava mai pano here kana baba panapo kuti unondiudza zvokutenga nezvekusatenga.
Batsiwa nematicha kuchikoro kana maticha acho varivo vanonyenga vana vachava
vabereki vedu vachikura ndira vaiti vachinemerana nevamwe varume vachiti mukwasha wangu hameno kuti zvichibva paisinana ukama nditi then inini ndazokura ndabvazira ndo murume uyo kutanga kunditi unozora tiona kuwana mai vako handitira handisi mukadzi wenyu ndezvenyu nani namama vangu handiti murume uyu tinokwanisa kumudza chokwadi ozvinzoko amai vangu ndingavaudza sei kuti vachirega kuenda kune murume vachinomuti mukwasha wangu.
Vana mai muchiona takadai vamwe vana mai injiri pachavo vamwe vakambozetanakira kuwanikwa navarume asi vasina kumbokuramba vokuwana murume wakanaka asi ivo pachavo kabekground nekahisirikawo siroko kana kasina kumira zvakanaka. Mai ava maonero ndavaita vanoruchira saka vakafunga kuti mwana achazononyengwa nemunhu asina chinhu inenge achitogara ndamubatira azive kuti kubva murume.
Vese mucommunity kana pachikoro poita murume orepa mwana wake anobvumidzwa here kuramba achitenderera pachikoro kana kuti kuramba arimo mucommunity nekuti vana vechikoro vanenge vatova nefree kudzidza kwacho achifunika kuona.
Kana mwana sikana warepewa isu mapurisa tikangoziva nekukurumidza takutouya kuzobata baba vaya atova musungwa. Isusu nekuona kuti iwewe hauchakwanisi kugara paya nababa vako takutokubvisa panzvimbo yaunenge uchigara nababa vako totokuisa kusafe house kana kuti kusafe haven.
While the First Lady and elderly women sat down with girls in the Nanga, elderly men including teachers, traditional chiefs and the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Comrade Ezra Shazamira, counselled boys in the Gota.
Tinoziva kuti technology iriko yakauya, asi technology kana takuishandisa tinoishandisa to transform our nation for a better. Saka tinotarisa tsika dzedu nemagariro edu kuti tozvishandisa sei kuti zvisimudzire nyika yedu.
After the separate sessions, Amai conducted a combined session where she gave both female and male learners wise counsel.
Zvino nhasi tataura nevasikana, vakomana mataurwa nemi kuti chinonzi munhu chii, hunhu. Nyaya hombe yatiri kuona vana iko zvino vakomana nevasikana vamwe vari same sex schools, kuti vakomana chete kana vasikana. Kwava kuitwa imwe tsika yatagara tatisingazive munhu wekwedu, mutsika dzedu nemagariro edu. Kana takakutumirai kuchikoro, iko zvino mapa high school, hamusati mapedza muchiri kuendera mberi kuenda kuma universities. Apa ndo pamakusarudza zvidzidzo zvamada kuita kuti zvichikuendesa kuuniversity, kuti mugova nezita iro, zita rako rauchazvigadzirira iwe, kubudikidza nezvidzidzo zvawakuita uri pahigh school zvichakuendesa kuuniversity. Ndinogara ndichitaura kuti zita rako rekumba kwenyu taneta naro, takuda rimwe zita pamusoro pairo. Richakupa chimiro, richakupa hunhu, richakupinza munyika. Zita iro raruye uchidhakwa usina chaunobura muchikoro. Tava nevana vari kujamba majurawo vachinoita cheupombwe kunzoku, nevarume vakuru vanoita mabasa api vakasiyana siyana, nevapi odzoka kuma AM ojamba futi opinda muno muchikoro. Koita vasikana vari kubhadharwa nevakomana titinyengero vasikana vekuchikoro chenyu, mari yedu yozotutumira vasikana vachitosangana navo papi. Zvapinda futi muzvikoro izvozvo. Vakomana vari kupa vasikana mimba kuti tikubvunze kuti muroora wani wawapa mimba. Ziva kuti pese pawaita chinhu chako iwe mukomana iwe chinokutevera. Kuti unzi baba here uri kuhigh school hazvikodzeri. Kuti unzi amai here uri kuhigh school hazvikodzeri kuti zvinge zvakadaro. Asi kubudikidza nokuzvibata unoita kuti ukunde miedzo yese. Miedzo usakundwa nenyama yako ichikutuma zvisirizvo panguva isakafanira. Musikana wakakosha, varemekedzei ndanasisi venyu, dzidzai navo zvakanaka. Vari kukundikana muzvidzidzo, mutorei muri chikwata muchimudzidzisa, mupase mufambe mese makaenzana, mugobuda mese makapasa. Uyo unoita zvake, oita zvake, oita zvake. Mukomana iwe musikana wako asati azvako, wako waucharoora asati azvako. Vasikana ndakuuza kuti mukomana achakuroora asati azvakwa futi. Ndauya kuzotaura nemi kuti zera ramuri iri ndo zera rokuti maakutarisa manje kuti maakuzogara mapedza moenda kunyika monoshandira nyika yekwenyu. A professional name ezvino ndora wakudzingirira.
During the lively session, the mother of the nation also inquired from girls on how they respond to advances from men, considering that they are too young to be in romantic relationships.
Vasikana vese vatsidza kuti zvechikoro. Tati mukomana tinomuramba tichiti kudi mukomana uyu.
Mukomana tinomuramba tichiti no. Inini ndinoda zvekudzidza, handina kuvinga kuzoita zvevakomana nekuti ndine zita randoda kunodanwa naro munyika rakanaka.
The First Lady, who is a gastronomy champion, also asked the learners how really she is prepared. Most of the answers left the gathering in stitches.
Kana tichida kukanga nyama, tinotora banga toiuraya, kana iri huku toibvisa manhenga ayo, mambava, then tobvisa mamwe maparts asina kukodzera kuti abikwe. Tobva taigeza zvakanaka-naka, toicheka nemapisi akakodzera, toibhoila. After taboila tinotora mafuta edu toisa pamoto mupano. Kana tikaona mafuta edu ava right, totora nyama yedu toiisa imomo, one by one, bit by bit, slow.
Tocheka mapatsi akakodzera, tosvina matumbu, tocheka mapatsi anoita kuzopawo vakuru nekupa vadiki, anosanganisira zvidya, musana, then evadiki anosanganisira nzondora.
Masvingo Victim Friendly Unit Coordinator Inspector Chuma thanked Amai for the moral restoration program, which helps make their work easier in curbing vices among youths. Mrs. Senzeni Kapanga from the National Gender-Based Violence Call Center decried a rise in unwanted pregnancies among youngsters, according to reports that are being reported through the Gender-Based Violence toll-free line 575. Arts outfit IASA raised awareness on the effects of drug and substance abuse through a polished act.
Drugs are like a cancer that destroys our future.
Stop killing the youth. They are the future Zimbabwe.
Stop destroying the future. Say no to drugs.
The youngsters who benefited from the First Lady's Moral Restoration Program gave plaudits to Amai, while members of the community said the program was a timely intervention in the face of moral decadence, especially among youths. The Mother of the Nation, in a benevolence, handed over stationery to all learners, while female students received sanitary wear to ensure that they do not miss studies during their monthly cycles. Colette Msanyera, ZBC News, Bikita.
Indeed, morally upright children who are skilled as well. We hope that you got that recipe of how to turn a live chicken into a whole meal from the grassroots level. So now we cross over to Glenview South, where our reporter John Ndara was covering the by-elections that we held today. John, good evening, and tell us, how was the voting in Glenview South?
Good evening, and thank you for joining us here from Glenview South constituency, where by-elections were being held for the Glenview South National Assembly seat, which fell vacant following the death of legislator Grandmore Hakata, and 5 aspiring candidates were contesting for this seat, and voting is closed. Polling stations opened at exactly 7 a.m. and closed at exactly 7 p.m. this evening. But I'm joined by the Glenview South Chief, Glenview South Constituency Elections Officer, to give us an update with regards to the voting process which was underway. It is a very good evening, and welcome.
Good evening, John, and good evening, everyone.
Take us through the voting process since the opening of polling stations at 7 a.m. Today.
The voting process started swiftly at all polling stations. All our polling stations opened at 7 a.m. and they have now closed at 7 p.m. Since morning, the voting process was calm. We have not received any incidents of violence. People were trickling into the polling stations, casting their votes and going out after they had finished casting their votes. So the situation in general was calm throughout the day, and all our polling stations are now closed, and counting is now closed.
And the number of polling stations that were open in the constituency?
We, as Glenview South, we had a total of 43 polling stations that were in this constituency. As you know, we had 2 wards, that is 131 and 132. There were 5 candidates contesting this by-election. And maybe just to mention them, we had Chakereza Tonderai, an independent, Matsokere Tungamirai, independent, Makwangwaize George, independent, Kanda Pechua, NCA, Taomera Tranquility, Sunday.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gambe, for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Glenview South Constituency Elections Officer, Mr. Kilian Gambe, giving us an update of the voting process that was underway. And collation of results is now underway, and results will be announced soon after counting ends.
Well, thank you very much, John Nandara, for taking us through the voting that was happening in Glenview South. And of course, we shall be waiting for more as the result counting is through. But remember, you can always get more information on our website. That is www.zbcnews.co.zw.
Or you can get in touch with us on our social media handles. That is at ZBC News Online.
Yes, and still to come in business, Zimbabwe's construction industry speaks on a national development strategy to benefits.
And in sport, Zimbabwe maintains momentum with a 4-1 win over Manika Diamonds. The main news takes a breather. We'll be back with you shortly.
Zimbabwe is delighted to host the upcoming 15th conference of the contracting parties to the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands, COP15 in 2025. Zimbabwe is home to quite a number of small wetlands that have benefited our rural communities, mainly in providing pastures for livestock, water provision for irrigation and domestic use. In addition, our management of wetlands, which has led to pristine wildlife management, will ensure an unforgettable experience of an authentic African safari. Our adoption of sustainable land use practices that minimize the impact of human activities on wetlands can be observed in our various wetland sites such as Victoria Falls, Munaville Vlei, Chinui Caves, Cleveland, Chivero, Driefontein, and Manapus. 5 of the Ramsar designated sites are the main anchors of our tourism product. Manapus, Chinui Caves, Cleveland, Chivero, and the host city for COP15, Victoria Falls. We look forward to welcoming you to Zimbabwe and sharing all that we hold dear to our hearts, a world of wonders.
Thrills, but it kills. Obey traffic laws and drive within set limits. This message is brought to you by the Traffic Safety Council Zimbabwe. Safety first. There is no second chance.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. As Zimbabwe marks 45 years of independence, its healthcare sector is celebrating significant progress in infrastructure development and expanding electronic health records to achieve universal health coverage. Let's take a look.
From the construction of new hospitals and clinics to the devolution of healthcare services, the Ministry of Youth and Child Care has made notable strides in improving healthcare delivery across the country. Key initiatives include constructing new hospitals and clinics, devolving healthcare services to provinces and districts, and expanding electronic health records. testimonies from such areas like rural Cherezi confirm that construction of new clinics has been particularly impactful, reducing distances traveled by patients and increasing access to healthcare services.
Kare ndaigara kwamachoka clinic yanga iri kwa Mteyo nekunamba nekwachisa ukure hwacho waita 25 kilometers. Imwe clinic yanga iri St Joseph kwa Gudo, saka kwaifambiwa ikoko futi. Izvezvi manje mazuvano izvawanda.
Chipatara changa chiri 1 chava chiri panosangana Save na Mukwasini. Tozondoona chipatara chava chiri apa paChidhumo pakazowinwa peita independence. Ndo patakatanga kuva nechipatara yasununguka nyika, ndo pakazouya chipatara chokutanga yanga vairi Rupangwana. Saka izvezvi zvipatara ngati zvava padhuze nepadhuze ngati tarurukirwa devolution yedu.
We are actually thankful of our government because of the devolution concept. They have actually managed to disburse some funds to build new clinics. I'm happy to testify also that we have quite a number of clinics. I'm told that in this district they'd be less than 5 clinics before independence, but up to as we are speaking today, the government has created 16 more.
According to the Permanent Secretary and the Minister of Health and Child Care, Dr. Aspect Maunganidze, the government has embarked on an ambitious program to devolve healthcare services to provinces and districts.
We've been devolving and developing with all our structures in the country, leaving no place behind. We have resuscitated the primary care nurse training, which makes sure that all the nurses who are trained in that program are deployed in the rural areas. We have also made sure that the specialists who have always been deployed in the central hospitals now are devolved, and you will find specialists in the provinces, Victoria, Chitepo, Masvingo, Kweru. They are specialists in various areas, and we want to continue devolving to the districts where you find the major specialist areas like in surgery, in medicine, should have specialists on the ground.
The government has invested heavily in building new hospitals and clinics with a focus on areas with the greatest need.
We've made sure that our infrastructure is built in places where there is the greatest need. You know of our NMS program where we have built mini hospitals. We are set to commission Mataga Hospital in Berengwa. We've had groundbreaking in Manize, in Chivu, and we are set to do the same in Paradza, Rudanda, in Zaka, and also in Bulilima. We have gone on a drive to solarize most of our clinics, and in excess of 1,000 clinics are now solarized.
Building on 45 years of progress, the ministry says it is on track to achieving Vision 2030, which aims to provide high-quality healthcare services to all citizens. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Cherezi.
We now cross over to our Montreux studios where Memory Nkwenlovu is on standby with more. Memory, good evening, and it's over to you.
Good evening to you, Tanaka and Zain, and good evening to the viewers at home. Moving on with the bulletin, the First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, has donated 6 tons of mealie meal to Matetsi community in Hwange District, Matabeleland North Province.
The government continues to work tirelessly to provide food aid to communities affected by the El Nino-induced drought across the country. Complementing these efforts, the First Lady Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, in partnership with the United Arab Emirates, has donated 6 tons of mealie meal to communities near Matetsi Safari area in Hwange District, Matabeleland North Province. This consignment marks the first phase of the 3-part donation totaling over 17 tons from the UAE. Members of the Matetsi community expressed heartfelt appreciation for the timely intervention.
Siyambonga umama
obuyile wazasibona breakfast wasiphathela impuphu siyadlala abantwana bethu siyasutha
bathi ngosa tiriye kwamazulu akazitikulindira ziyume zivyo.
Traditional leadership and representatives from the UAE reaffirmed their commitment to improving livelihoods across Zimbabwe.
Ishumba inji jo inji mama batina kana muendera zvayo munoziziva saka ndimukumbira kumugara mukadaro andi basukwe vana vedu vavachokuvukira naivo vewane vona vati ishumba ini kupinda tivevone mumapicture kana mumatv.
This food is not just for to show the values of kindness, support and working together, while that the UAE believes in.
In a speech read on her behalf by Mr. Futon Mangwanya, Director General in the President's Department, the First Lady highlighted the significance of the United Arab Emirates' gesture in supporting Zimbabwe's national development agenda.
It is my wish to see everyone benefiting from the initiative and continue until we are satisfied with our 2025 harvest. I am very optimistic that our people's livelihood will inevitably be greatly improved. However, I challenge this community to value the gesture made here by UAE, bearing in mind that we are the builders of our own nation that answers to the President's mantra, Nyika inovakwa nevenevayo.
The UAE and Zimbabwean governments are collaborating to support Zimbabwe's National Development Strategy 1, focusing on key areas like food and nutrition security from 2021 to 2025. This initiative aligns with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 1, which aims to eradicate poverty. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Wange.
The accelerated presidential housing project in Bulawayo has delivered 236 houses under its pilot project, which aims to...
The Minister of National Housing and Social Amenities, Honorable Jemu Soda, outlined that this initiative aims to provide modern housing for civil servants, aligning with President Emmerson Mnangagwa's goal of creating an upper middle income society by 2030.
The developments that have happened here have also been able to comply with the requirements of the local authorities and also our requirement that before houses can be established, we would want to see roads to give access to the people to some services that they require. Also the issue of sewer and water reticulation has been taken care of.
Minister of Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare, Honorable Edgar Moyo, highlighted government's efforts to enhance the lives of civil servants.
Njengobana uhlelo lolu lukhona njalo lutargete ama civil servants, so kuthi ukuthi inhlala kuhle yabo iyancediseka khona phana. Njalo uhlelo lolu lwabunjwa ngombono ka President uDr Edi Mnangagwa ekhangele ukuthi ama civil servants akhe athole izindlu.
Beneficiaries of the Accelerated Presidential Housing Scheme praised President Emmerson Mnangagwa's efforts to provide affordable housing for civil servants through mortgage loans.
Definitely something else, considering that we have been lodging, and now considering that I've got a house, you are just happy. I'm just happy. I definitely encourage others to join the scheme, the Presidential Housing Scheme.
Ngithanda mina ukuthi ngibonge uPresident wethu umongameli wethu uPresident uED Mnangagwa ngokuthi asilethele uhlelo oluhle kangaka olwezindlu. Sinje singama civil servants siyazigqaja njalo siyaziqhenya ukuthi lathi sesila lapha esithi kukwethu esikwanisa ukuthi singene ezindlini zethu labantwana bethu bebekwazi ukuthi balengikhaya sesiphumile esilojeni.
Zimbabwe's presidential housing project aims to allocate 1 million houses to civil servants nationwide by 2030, significantly addressing the country's housing backlog. This ambitious plan aligns with government's vision to improve the lives of public sector workers and achieve upper middle income economy status by 2030.
The Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Service is running under a thriving Fumvuza project at Ruchanyu Farm, significantly boosting food security and providing substantial support to other correctional facilities in the Wetlands province.
In an effort to enhance production and food security nationwide, field days are emerging as a key driver of innovation, disseminating cutting-edge farming methods and best practices to farmers and empowering them to boost their yields and productivity. The Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Services held a field day at Ruchanyu Farm in Shurukwi district this Friday, where farmers from Zvishavane and Shurukwi districts met and exchanged notes.
Kurima kwaita veprison kunotibatsira kuti tidzidze. Kudzidza kwatinoda kuita ndiko kuti tofanira kubatana, tofanira kuva noumwe mukati mekurima medu.
Kurima ndo upenyu, saka vasungwa vose vakanga vachiita izvi sitakazviyemura nokuti takaziva kuti nesuwo nedzimwe nguva savagari ndinogona kuenda kujeri asi ndinogona kudzoka ndava nekumwe ruzivo kukuita zvimwe zvinhu pamba pangu.
The Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Services aims to contribute to the government's vision on food security and nutrition through its farming initiatives in the province.
Patouya nevasungwa kumunda kwedu kunoku tireke chivaratidza nzira dzakanaka dzekurima kuti vazorima vabuda panze. Ichiri kubatsira jeri mune zvakawanda. Chekutanga vasungwa vedu, vasungwa vanouya kumajeri hakusisiri tsika kare kuti vanouya kuzopanishwa kwete, vakuya kuzodzidzisiwa.
The government says it remains committed to supporting its institutions in pursuit of achieving food sufficiency nationwide.
Tine zvakawanda zvatinovabatsira nazvo. Chokutanga kuvawanira pokurima sezvatakaita pano. Chechipiri tinovapa zvokurimisa zvacho. Ingava tractors, ingava mbeu, ingava fertilizer, tinokurudzira kuti scheme yedu presidential ifocus pavanhu vakaita saivavo.
The government aims to reduce reliance on external food sources by fostering initiatives that boost local production, enhance agricultural efficiency, and promote innovative farming practices.
Farmers have been urged to vigilantly protect their crops and minimize post-harvest losses as the country anticipates a bumper harvest this season.
The Taruziva Chingwe family of Vurumuku village in Masvingo adopted the Pfumvudza Intwasa program in 2020, which has transformed their lives for the better. This season, they planted 4 plots of maize and 2 plots of traditional grains, and they are expecting a ton of maize from each plot.
But 2020 ndopandaita Pfumvudza kusvika nhasi uno ndiripinda nepfumvudza. Ndingati Pfumvudza yakandibetsera zvikuru kuti ndikwanise kuendesa vana vangu chikoro, plus handiti nguva zhinji ndinorima panzvimbo diki ndokwanisa kumaneja ichindipa zvakakodzera.
Hatichambobudisi mari muhomwe, tichindotenga chibage, upfu chaiwo, huku, tine magarikuni, tinongoshandisa zvirimwa zvatakashandisa zvepfumvudza izvozvi.
A field day was held at Chingwe Homestead on Friday, hosted by a local seed producing company where farmers from the area learned good practices for the harvesting season.
Kusarudza mbeu yakafanira munzvimbo futi chinhu chinobetsera kuti varimi vachinge vachikwanisa kubuda negora rakanaka sezvizvi zvatirikuona zvabuda zviri panezvi. So tirikuti isusu vanofanira kufambidzana nenguva nokuchinja kuri kuita mwaka vachiziva kuti mbeu dzinokwanisa kuita zvakanaka iko zvino ndedzipi nemamiriro akaita kunze.
The government has expressed readiness to support farmers in maximizing the value of their crops.
Tinoda kukurudzira varimi panapa kuti nguva inoyi tinoda kuziva kuti tinofanira kukohwa chibage chedu chasvika pamazuva mangani kubva pachakadyariwa, uye kana taita saizvozvo zvichatibatsira kuti varimi vedu vasarasikirwa negoho, nemhaka yekuti kana vakanonoka kuchibvisa mumunda zvinokanganisa goho ravo.
At national level, the government is making significant strides in curbing post-harvest losses through the construction of state-of-the-art grain storage facilities, a development that is set to guarantee food security in the wake of climate change. Ms. Martina, ZBC News, Masvingo.
That a reporter taking us back to you, Zain and Tanaka. Good evening.
Good evening and thank you very much, Memory and the rest of the Montrose team for taking us through that part of the bulletin. Now, going to our next story, the Amais Manicaland Provincial Traditional Cookout Competition held in Mutare this Friday saw 46 contestants from the province's 7 districts showcasing a diverse array of traditional dishes highlighting the province's rich culinary heritage. We get more in the following report.
The Amais Provincial Traditional Cookout Competition held at Mutare Teachers College this Friday was a true reflection of the variety of traditional foods found in Manicaland Province, with high frites being the signature dish for this year's edition of the provincial competition. The cookout competition has evolved, becoming more inclusive and competitive, showcasing unique traditional dishes. New categories have been added, including students and people living with disabilities, in addition to the traditional community and professional chefs categories, making the event more diverse and engaging.
Pakutanga ndagadzira madishes edu emuno high frites nesadza rezviyo, then pastata panga paine kapenda kakakotwa nepotato flour, then dessert yacho panga paine fruit kebab, mafruits emuno Manicaland.
Ndabika rupiza, nopi, zvechikare, mixed grain edu, rice remugomo ratinobirima tega. Tobva tabika mafunde mhunga. Ndiri kufara nokuda kokurangarirwawo isu tinorarama neurema, asi matiri mune zvirimo, muchazviona zvirimo.
Manicaland Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Advocate Misheki Mugadza, highlights the significance of the traditional cookout competition as a vital platform for preserving cultural heritage.
This brings joy to our hearts as we are sure of an effective transfer of knowledge between the young and the elderly persons. Further to that, this competition speaks into the heritage-based education 5.0 being promulgated by the government of Zimbabwe, ably led by His Excellency. We cannot ignore the level of excitement that the competition has triggered within our communities.
The Minister of Tourism and Hospitality Industry, Honorable Barbara Hodzi, underscored that the competitions that are a brainchild of the First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, is placing Zimbabwe among leading countries that are effectively promoting gastronomy tourism.
We are very happy with the quality and the improvement that what we have seen today, and with the inclusion of the persons with disabilities, which the patron, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, has encouraged the ministry to do this year. It's amazing to know that one person, a person with no hand, with using one hand, or someone who's blind, can elaborate and tell you what they cooked and present the food the way we expected.
Meanwhile, the national cookout competitions are scheduled for Matabeleland South Province on the 25th of May, with the top 2 provincial winners under the 4 categories expected to represent the province at the grand event. Kenya Stivuje, ZBC News, Mutare.
Well, talk about mouth-watering dishes right there. However, in the next report, the Zimbabwe Republic Police has been challenged to deal decisively with political malcontents, derailing government's development agenda. Let's take a look.
Addressing ZRP Chief Superintendents at a workshop held at Mkushi Academy in Harare this Saturday, the Permanent Secretary for Presidential Affairs in the Office of the President, Engineer Tafadzwa Mguti, emphasized that the police should not be hindered by political malcontents involved in illegal activities and should be allowed to perform their duties without interference.
Your roles as the Chief Superintendents is to be able to superintend economic development within your trajectory, within your jurisdictions. Ensure that the country is moving forward and deal decisively with any malcontents that might stop us from achieving an upper middle income society by 2030. We want a zero tolerance to name dropping in this country. mapurisa hafaniri kutyisidzirwa kuita basa ravo, itai basa renyu.
Engineer Mguti added that plans are underway to empower the police to tackle sophisticated crimes, including money laundering, by enhancing their capabilities to identify and deal with such offences.
When the economy started stabilizing in the Second Republic, we started seeing a new phenomenon of money laundering. And there are mainly three arms of money laundering. The first one is retail. The second aspect, people are now money laundering through car sales. The third thing is service stations. To start, and we are going to develop more courses working with the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe to empower you as chief superintendents to learn about the prudential laws, to learn about the monetary policies that we are putting in the country, to learn about the fiscal discipline measures that need to be taken and enforced by the Zimbabwe Public Police.
Police chief superintendents were also urged to establish systems that foster discipline and promote a positive work culture among their staff, enhancing overall policing effectiveness. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
Do remember you can always get news on the go by simply visiting our website at www.zbcnews.co.zw. You can also interact with us on our various social media platforms at ZBC News Online. The news at 8 takes a break. Do stay tuned for business.
Tel1 Broadband brings you the 100 Days to Win Big promotion. Buy your Tel1 Broadband voucher worth $30 or more at any Pick n Pay store nationwide and unlock the chance to win 50 gigabytes of data every day. Yes, you heard right. Each and every day. For the next 100 days, each TM Pick n Pay branch countrywide will select a winner, and it could be you. Buy your Tel1 Broadband bundle today at your nearest Pick n Pay and make every day a happy one. Hashtag 100 Happy Days to Win Big. The Tel1 100 Days to Win Big promotion runs from 10 March to the 30th of June 2025. Terms and conditions apply. Tel1, the future is better together.
Shark on the line.
He took my fish.
Guys, did you see that? I just was like, what?
I really want you to find someone nice who would mean the world to you and make you so happy.
Bernardo Silva, Stones, Foden, a little bit of time. Oh, what a shot! What a goal! What a player!
The 2025 edition of the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair, ZITF, is here. Blawayo, welcome alive from 21 to 26 April 2025 as the annual multinational expo takes center stage under the theme Industrialization, Crafting an Integrated Economic Landscape. Don't miss this opportunity to showcase your brand for exciting advertising packages on ZBC TV, ZBC Radio, and digital platforms during ZITF Week. Get in touch with ZBC Marketing on email marketing@zbc.co.zw or contact Robson Masunda on 0716-484-712 or Martha on 0719-593-532.
Welcome back. You're still watching News at 8. Thank you for staying with us. Now in business news, Zimbabwe's construction industry is anticipating many benefits from the National Development Strategy 2, which will be launched at the end of this year. We get more on that in the following report.
As Zimbabwe is now winding the National Development Strategy 1 by year end, paving way for the second phase of the blueprint in 2026, the construction industry is focusing on consolidating current gains driven by government projects across the country.
The opportunities that are arising, especially for us professionals, they are actually increasing as time goes on. So it's been it's an incredible opportunity for us.
We're seeing a great boom with the Second Republic, and we are seeing a new thrust in terms of sustainable development, and the design is taking a robust approach to sustainability.
The industry is expecting growth opportunities anchored on socio-economic development projects in line with the devolution aspirations.
Looking into 2025, you will see that whatever was remaining in 2024 is a continuation of that kind of program of works. And not only that, but also other new projects. If you check on the Minister of Finance Infrastructure Development Plan, you will see that other new projects. For example, this one that we are at the moment, this building is a new project that we are actually starting this year. And it's one of those things that we were saying we have running projects as a country. And we also have similar projects now that are coming up. And what it means that as we draw closer to the close of NDS number 2, we are saying we'll be able to do our business in a very good environment.
Under the NDS 1, Zimbabwe has also achieved milestones that include positive growth rates, increased infrastructure projects, restored food security, more social amenities, and increased foreign currency receipts, among others. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
From business, let's switch and take a look at what is happening in the world of sport. In our first report, reigning champions Zimbabwe maintained their momentum in the Kasolaga Premier Soccer League with an emphatic 4-1 victory over Manika Diamonds at Wazanai Stadium this Saturday.
The match saw Zimbabwe come from behind to secure a convincing win after Manika Diamonds had taken the lead in the 20th minute through Charles Tegu's well-taken shot. Zimbabwe, however, responded quickly with the junior Makonike equalizing in the 27th minute. Just before half-time, Makonike got his brace. In the second half, Isaska Guriraba added Zimbabwe's third goal, putting further pressure on Manika Diamonds. Tinotenda Mike sealed the win for Zimbabwe with the fourth goal in the 51st minute, securing a 4-1 victory. With this win, Zimbabwe now sits on 11 points from 6 matches. Other results saw ZBC Kariba thrash Kwekwe United 5-0, Wangezi Platinum suffered their first defeat of the season. Laurels won 2-1 against Triangle, while FC Platinum and Greenfield played out a goalless draw. While Hirentos will face Moors at Wazanai Stadium, and Dynamos will clash with Chicken Inn at Rufaro Stadium. Anna Shemrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
Now we take a look at what is happening on the women's ground, where defending champions Herentals Queens started the Women Premier Soccer League season on a high note, thumping Blake Rhinos Queens 3-1 at One Command Grounds this Saturday. We get more in the following report.
Queens made a statement of intent facing last season's runners-up, showcasing their skills and determination on the pitch. The match got off to a tense start with both teams creating scoring opportunities. It was Hirantals who, however, struck first with the Polite Mabiga scoring a penalty. Rhinos Queens pulled one back in the 58th minute through Caroline Mangwai, but Hirantals Queens sealed the win with another penalty, this time scored by Prainens Rwanda in the 53rd minute. In other matches, Mpopoma Sports Academy won 2-1 against Highlanders Royals in a thrilling blowout derby. Faith the Driver edged the newcomers Kwekwe Queens 2-1, while Chapungu Queens thrashed the Conduit Academy 5-0. Correctional Queens also recorded a 5-0 win against the Black Mambas, and Cranbourne Royals beat Red Buffaloes 2-0. The first round concludes on Sunday with a match between Platinum Royals and Harare City. Anna Shemrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
The Ireland under-19 team secured a consolidation win after beating Zimbabwe by 4 wickets in the final Youth One Day International at Takashinga.
After playing second fiddle in the first 4 matches of the Youth One Day International Series, the Irish under-19 men's cricket team, Adam Leckie put in a spirited performance with an unbeaten 91 runs from 100 deliveries to guide his side to a much-needed consolation win over the home team. Despite losing wickets around him, the top-order batsman stood firm at the crease to preserve his prized wicket. A consolation victory looked in sight for the visitors when Ethan Marshall partnered Leckie with a knock of 41 runs before he was sent packing by Kian Blino, 9 runs short of a half-time to 205 runs for 6 in 42.2 overs, a score that was enough to save his side from the face of a humiliating series drubbing. Earlier on, Dhruv Patel yet starred with a bait for the young Chevrons, putting 79 runs on the board as Zimbabwe scored a lowly 203 runs all out in 42.1 overs. The opener found support from Takuzo Makoni, who narrowly missed on a bright half-turn by just 2 runs. However, his efforts were not enough to put on a formidable score as 6 other batsmen failed to reach double figures. The score was too little to defend for the young Chevrons, but the bowlers put off his teammates, claimed a wicket apiece to pose a challenge to the Irish batsmen in the dying stages, with just 16 balls remaining as Ireland clinched their first victory of the series. The series victory is a confidence booster for Zimbabwe, who were using the series as preparation for the ICC Under-19 Men's Cricket World Cup after clinching the series 4-1. Reynold Guarati, ZBC News, Harare.
And that puts a cap on sport this evening. Coming up next is a weather report and forecast courtesy of the Met Services Department.
Hello there, welcome. Let's take a look at the weather. There were isolated thunder showers yesterday in the northern regions of the country with localized heavy rain in Pintura, 34 millimeters, 33 in Chinoy, Maryland, 27 millimeters, and to the south we had light rain and trees due to the cool, moist air that's coming from the south. And today we had mostly cloudy and mild conditions for much of the day in most areas except for Matabele North, which were partly cloudy and warm for much of the day. Tomorrow we're expecting partly cloud conditions with chances of isolated showers in the northern parts of the country, which includes Mashonaland, Harare, as well as the northern parts of the Midlands. Tonight we're expecting cool conditions throughout the night in areas of a higher ground, as well as isolated showers in places. Tomorrow generally warm across the country with highest temperatures in the northern parts of the country as well as the southern parts with chances of isolated showers in places. Bulawayo briefly cloudy, becoming less cloudy as the day progresses. Matopos briefly cloudy, mild in the morning, becoming warm by the afternoon. Gwanda briefly cloudy, becoming sunny as the day progresses with chances of light rain in the morning. Masvingo briefly cloudy, cool in the morning, becoming warm by the afternoon. Gweru partly cloudy with chances of isolated showers in places. Kwekwe cool in the morning, becoming warm by the afternoon with chances of isolated showers in places. Kadoma partly cloud with afternoon showers that could be thundery. Harare cool in the morning, becoming warm by the afternoon with isolated showers in places. Chinoy, same conditions are expected, isolated showers in places. Lupane briefly cloudy, becoming warm by the afternoon, as well as Victoria Falls, isolated showers are expected throughout the focus period. Kariba partly cloudy with chances of isolated showers in places. Bindura, we're expecting cool morning conditions and warm afternoons with isolated showers in the afternoon. Marondera, isolated showers are also expected with cool morning conditions and warm afternoons. Same applies for Nyanga, heavy rains are expected in places. Thank you for tuning in. Good evening, Zimbabwe.
Well, that caps tonight's bulletin. From the crew behind the scenes and all of us here, good night.
Good night.